the new Ensley Cosmic Dreamer collection. I'm so excited for this one. This is Cosmic Dreamer 2.0. Are you ready for this? Color, neutrals, sparkle, mattes. I am so ready. We are going to talk about the full collection. I'm going to show you looks, we're going to swatch, we're going to play. It's going to be a great time. We've got to start off by talking about this palette. I love eyeshadow palettes. I collect eyeshadow palettes. I have so many. I do not get rid of them. I just love eyeshadow. I'm constantly testing and trying eyeshadows, and I always want to let you know what's good. Like, what is the best of the best? And Ensley has become one of my favorite brands specifically for eyeshadow. They make beautiful formulas. So you saw the inside, like, right? I love that we have neutral colors, more colorful shades like these greens and pinks and blues. I love that we have some deep murky tones, some bright shades. Really, really beautiful in this palette. All of the pans are magnetic, so you can pop them out, you can move them around, you can mix and match your Ensley palettes. I don't usually do that. I just love to have my palettes as they are, but I know a lot of y'all really like to move stuff around, so this is definitely a palette that you can do that with. We're definitely going to create some looks with this collection, but make sure you stay till the end because I will summarize my thoughts and give a review once I've played with everything. There are also 6 different moon dust shadows in this collection. I love when Ensley does moon dust in their collection. I think they're so fun. You can wear them on the eyes, the face, kind of whatever you want to do. These are loose pigments, and there are 4 multi-chromes and 2 duochromes in these pigments. Super excited to add these to my collection. I love when Ensley does their loose shadows, their pressed shadows, like these big full collections. I just think it's super fun. And you know me, like, I'm a more is more type of person. So if you're doing a collection and you want to add some loose shadows to it, like, I am all about it. Like, give me more. We also have 6 pressed pigment singles in this collection. I put mine in a little magnetic palette just so I could show you easily and hold them up, but you can of course pop these into whatever kind of palette you want to put them in. Really beautiful. There are different formulas in these pressed pigment singles. There are 4 holochromes, 1 multi-chrome, and 1 marbled multi-chrome, which I think is really fun, really special. I know that Ensley usually does like a bundle for the collection, and there will be bundles offered, and I know that things will be available individually as well, which I think is really nice because if Ensley had not sent me this collection, I love the brand. I would buy the full collection. I'd be setting an alarm on my phone, but I do like that they have the option to break it apart if you're interested in the full collection or just a few of the pieces. I really enjoy that, and their single shadows do come in a like packaging that have the kind of artwork on the palette. If you really like that, you will definitely enjoy the packaging on the singles. The Rain or Shine lip glosses are always going to be an add to cart for me. I really like these. I am wearing this on my lips today, and I just really like this formula. It's very thin, it's very sparkly, very pretty. I like the size of the component too. It's small, so you can like throw it in your purse. It's not going to take up a lot of space. Just really, really beautiful lip gloss formula. I bought a lot of these. I was definitely a customer of Ensley before I became an affiliate, and I will have all of the launch information down below in the description box. I will put the pricing there, and everything I can will be in the description box. I do have an affiliated code with Ensley If you use code Heather at checkout, you can get a discount. So I will also put that in the description box. But I'm looking forward to creating. I want to play in some makeup. So I'm going to grab my eyeshadow primer and zoom y'all in. Let's start off with the blue down here. This is called Neptune, and the pink called Visionary. I really want to do something kind of blue and pink. I think that'll be really fun. I'm first going to kind of pack Visionary right on the inner part of my socket, and I'm gonna lightly blend, but I'm gonna do more blending in a minute. Right now I just kind of want to get that pigment laid down, and that is so vibrant and beautiful. I am so into that color. Hot pinks are so fun. Then I'm gonna take Neptune, and And I'm going to stipple that on too, pressing it right on top of my primer, right on my lid in the outer corner, and then kind of bringing it up. And I'm going to let it meet that pink. I'm not going to overblend because I want this to be pink to blue. But I'm going to get the pigment down, and then I will slightly start to blend right in here and out. Just like that. So right out here, I'm just gonna bring that shadow down under the lower lash line, but just in the outer corner. So you can see I've just barely taken it right here so that it kind of wraps right there. Looking a little crazy, colorful, beautiful, but a little crazy. Trust the process. It's gonna work, it's gonna work. We're gonna take this shade right here. This light pink shade is called Dreamscape, really pretty. I'm gonna take that on my fluffy brush, and then after that, we'll be dipping into this sparkle black called Eclipse. But with Dreamscape, that light pink, I'm going to go and I'm going to start buffing things out and blending right in here. This shade is going to be pretty with both the pink and the blue. It's going to allow me to buff and blend, and I'm just not putting a lot of pressure on my brush. Very, very lightly blending, okay? Can barely feel it against my skin. Light blending motions. I'm pressing Eclipse right on top of the eye primer. I did put a little primer underneath my lash line so that I could really make sure my shadow lasts and stays in place and pops. I always use a primer. I mean, I have oily skin and deep set eyes, so I have to have an eyeshadow primer. And I'm just pressing the black right on, so you can see a little sparkle there. If I were to buff, that sparkle would kind of disappear. So I really like shadows like this because it gives you some versatility, you know? Then I'll go back with the Dreamscape shade that we used earlier, and I will lightly buff the edges of this as well. I want to pull in a single shadow for this look. Definitely can use a shimmer shade from the palette. There are beautiful options, but I do want to use this shadow. It's been like calling to me since I took it out of the box, y'all. This is Star Chaser. Oh, it just looks so pretty. I picked up the shadow on my brush, and then I sprayed my brush with a little setting spray. I never put like my wet brush into the shadow. I always spray it after. This just helps the shadow have like maximum impact, and it will help with fallout. So 99.9% of the time, I will spray any type of shimmer or sparkle shadow with a setting spray after I pick it up on my brush. That's so pretty. I'm not going to cover up the matte blue in the outer corner. I want to keep that matte and dramatic, so I'm just going to stop and kind of slowly fade the shadow. Not slowly. Well, yeah, slowly. I will do it slowly, but lightly fade that shade into that blue. It's so beautiful. I'm so into it, y'all. I'm so into it. Let's use a loose pigment. These are so fun. I want to use the shade Cosmic Queen. Oh, so pretty, so pretty. And I'm just going to use this a little bit on the inner corner. I wanted to create a look using kind of everything in this collection, so I'm going to just kind of pull the little cap off like this. I'll tap a little bit into the lid, pick it up on my brush, spray my brush, and then we will pop it on the inner corner. Now, pigments can be a little messy, so be warned. I did spray my brush, so that's going to help with any fallout, and I'm just pressing that right onto the inner corner. All right, y'all, I'm going to put on liner and a lash, and I will be back to show you the look and like how it comes together after mascara and all. Here is our look. I just put on some black eyeliner and a half lash, and then I did put a little extra of that loose pigment on the inner corner because once like the look was coming together, I'm like, no, I need a little more intensity. So I just upped it a little bit. And I love this pink and blue look. I love it with the sparkle lip gloss. I'm so feeling it. I think it's beautiful. I do want to put on one of these loose pigments as a face highlight. It's very extra, but in case you feel like being a little extra, having fun, I want to show you what it looks like on the face. I totally do this a lot. I wear it to the grocery store. I don't care. Like, makeup is for me. It's for me to have fun with and play. So let me grab a highlighter brush and we'll put a little sparkle on our face. This is the shade Cosmic Light. Isn't that pretty? I'm just going to kind of buff it in. It's going to be extra. It's going to be fun and playful, and I'm here for it. I have talked about like sparkle and shimmer and everything like that, but there are no pressed glitters or anything in this palette, and these are loose pigments, not glitter. Just in case that was something that you were curious about, why not just a little on the nose? And now we're really glowy with our pink and blue eye look where they blend together. We've got a little bit of purple, we've got sparkle, and I am just feeling this look, but of course I do want to create more and review the collection for you. So here's one last look at our first Cosmic Dreamer look. We are going to create 2 different eye looks today, and we're going to play with maybe some of the deeper, more like earthy tones in this palette, since our first look was very bright and bold and intense. And I just want to kind of maybe stick in these shades right in here towards the middle of the palette. Now, Ensley does make beautiful neutral palettes. If you saw my top 10 cool tone palette video, you will know how much I love their Cold Moon palette. Definitely watch that video if you're interested in that palette. But I want to do like 2 different eye looks that have the same type of vibe, and it's gonna be a good time. I'm actually going to a family birthday party today, so it'll be fun to have on some fun makeup and just play in these shadows. I want the looks to be different shades, but I want it to still be cohesive. So we're gonna do like the same depth levels and the same placement, and I'll be doing the eye looks at the same time, a shade over here and then a shade over here, so I can keep that cohesive look going. But I want to start first with this beautiful kind of orangey shade right here. And then on the other eye, we're going to go with this more olivey green called Dreamer. I'm tapping this shade right on top of my eyeshadow primer, just kind of all in my socket. And I've got a fluffy brush so that I can really blend back and forth. And I want this to be just kind of all in the socket, above the socket, below. It doesn't have to be precise or anything like that. We're just kind of throwing this shade on. This is such a pretty like orangey color that definitely will pull orange next to more like bright colorful shades. But if you pair this with neutrals, browns, shades like that, it's definitely going to look more like a warm brown, which I think is fun when a shade can kind of fit multiple different like aesthetics in terms of a look. For this eye, I'm taking the shade Dreamer, and I'm going to do the exact same placement. So you can see it's a different shade, but it's around the same depth level, so that we're still going to have kind of cohesive shapes on both eyes. And that is such a pretty green. I really like that tone. I like that a lot. Now, if you don't want this look to be as dramatic as kind of this, definitely just keep the shadow a little lower on your lid. So I'm bringing mine up pretty high, like I said. Choose a smaller brush and just keep it right in here in this area, and don't kind of fluff it up like I do. And that will just make things still fun and still pretty, but less in your face, less intense. I want to deepen up the outer corner in these looks. So for this eye over here, we're going to use this dark brown shade, and this one over here, we're going to dip into this shade right here. It would also be really beautiful to pull in this more like vibrant green called Wild Hearted, but I want to stick with this shade called Wanderer. I'm going to take the dark brown called Spacey, and I'm going to stamp this right on the lid, and I'm going to bring it up and out like that, and go back in with a little more after I've blended, and really make sure I have it packed right there on the lid so that it's deepest here, and then it kind of fades out like that. I'm also going to take it right out here in the outer corner like that, and just blend, blend, blend right out here. I'm going to do the same exact thing with the shade Wanderer, keeping it darkest on the lid and then blending it up and out. Green is my favorite color, y'all. I absolutely love green shadows, so this is fun for me. This is fun for me, and I love warm tones, so I love this too. Just like the best of both worlds, you know? Now, for the lower lash line, I want to keep it how we've been doing, you know, like the same depth level. So for this eye over here, we're going to use Intergalactic, this kind of mid-tone shade. And for our green eye, we are going to use, where are we? This shade. I'm like, hold on, let me read the names. They're like silver holographic printed, so I have to turn it. And this is the shade Eclectic. So we have the matte greens from this row on this eye. We've used these two shades, but now we're going to jump down here. And this palette, I do think, is laid out in a really beautiful way that does make it easy to create looks. If you're not sure what to do with the palette this large, there's 25 shades, you can definitely just stick and say, I'm going to stick to this row and I'm going to create a look with these 5 shadows. And it's kind of done for you because the rows definitely go together. But of course, I am here with looks to help you too if you decide you want to get this palette or shop your stash. Hopefully I can give you some inspiration, but I do really appreciate the way this palette is laid out. I'm taking Intergalactic and I'm just going to put that all on my lower lash line. So I'm going to kind of press it on first and then buff that shade, so that it's a little more blended, connected to that outer corner deep dark brown that we had, and then just lightly blending it down lower. These mattes are beautiful, honestly, so pretty. I'm doing the exact same placement on this eye with Eclectic. Gonna make sure I have that down and then buff and blend, meeting it up with our outer corner. That's really pretty, and it like blends into Wanderer really nicely as well. I'm really liking this look. I'm just gonna go back with the first blending brush, make sure I don't have any harsh lines. Let's go into some of these beautiful multi-chrome, holochrome, shimmer, special shades, all the all the chrome, right? I want to use this pretty shade right up here called Astral Traveler, and then I also want to use this one down here called Cosmic Dust. So it's going to be kind of like opposite corners of the palette. Now with my shimmer non-matte shades, I'm going to pick them up on the brush. I'm going to spray my brush with a little bit of setting spray so that the shadow is not completely saturated wet, but just a little damp, and then apply to my eye. I'm going to put this shade right in the center of the lid. I'm going to kind of press it on first, and then I'm going to kind of blend it so that it connects with that matte that we have in the outer corner. So we're going to have kind of like 3 different shades on our lid. If you have a different eye shape than me, or you want to create a different shape, you can definitely keep this shadow lower. You can bring it up higher, above your crease, whatever you want to do. I hate to say creases because y'all, I got a lot of wrinkles and crinkles in these eyes. Like, I have a lot of creases. I have deep set eyes, but I don't mind. So if you want to take your shadows up above your socket, you can definitely do that. Now we're going to take Cosmic Dust, and this shade has even more sparkle to it. Really gorgeous. Now I'm gonna have to show y'all some more swatches when I do my review at the end of the video, because I want you to really kind of see, even in different lighting and things, these shades and just how beautiful they are. For the inner part of the lid, I want to use more of these beautiful special shades. So we're going to do Lucidity, this green, and we're going to do Inner Planetary. If you are wanting to do like 2 different eye looks like this and keep them cohesive, I definitely do kind of recommend keeping your shimmer placements the same, your matte placements the same. You definitely don't have to. It's just if you want them to kind of have this type of like cohesiveness to them. And for me, that's easiest when I'm working on them kind of at the same time. And that beautiful green right in here, oh, that's so pretty. I'm sorry, like, I get so excited. This is the shade Lucidity. I just get so excited. I love shadows. I love playing with them. I love swatching them. My video that I posted Friday, my haul video, I have 2 eye looks in that video. I have tons of swatches of stuff. I just love, love, love playing with makeup. I love that this palette does have a lot of matte shades. I think that gives the palette a lot of versatility along with the color story. But we do have this pretty white shimmer shade up here called Milky Way. And I'm actually going to use that to highlight the inner corner for both of my eyes. So I'm going to keep the inner corner shade the same. I want to show you more swatches. I'm going to put on a little more lip gloss, because I can tell you right now, I like the gloss. This is not a new to me formula. I like that you can kind of build up the sparkle of it. So there's the review on that. You know, like, it's a good gloss. It's pretty. It's so pretty. All right, y'all, here are our second and third look with this Cosmic Dreamer collection from Ensley Rain. I do want to talk to you about my thoughts on this collection. Overall, of course, I really enjoy this collection. If you could not tell, I love Ensley Rain. I think they make some of the highest quality shadows. I think they are just like one of the top indie brands. They really have a beautiful formula. I love that they put different textures and things in their palettes. Overall, I just think it's super duper fun. The Cosmic Dreamer palette has definitely got to be my favorite piece of this collection. I just love eyeshadows, so of course I love this. I love the textures. I love the shades. I love that I can create something super bright and colorful. I can create something a little more muted if I want to. There's just enough tones in here to where you can do something really kind of toned down and neutral-esque, or you can do something super bright, bold, and intense. I always love when Ensley Rain does these loose moon dust pigments in their collection. Wear them on the face, wear them on the body, your eyes, whatever you want to do. I just think they're super fun. Yes, a little messy, but just another element to kind of like up your makeup game, do something different, have a little like creativity. I like to put them on top of like a glitter glue, a glitter base, an adhesive, something like that when I'm putting them on the eyes. But I love, love, love them. The single shadows are beautiful as well. I really like these pigments. I'm looking forward to putting these with the rest of my Ensley Rain singles, adding them to my collection. I think they're super beautiful. They swatch beautifully. They apply on the eyes beautifully. And it's just, again, it's fun. I love shadows so much. So these are gorgeous. I'm excited to have these in my collection. I know I said at the beginning of this video that had Ensley Rain not sent me this collection, I would have purchased it myself. I did that with the Twisted Tea Party collection. They ended up sending it to me, but I was a bit impatient. So I ordered it on launch day and I bought the full collection in love. I would totally do the same thing with this collection. Now that I have played with it and tried everything, I would buy it myself. I have so many videos here on my channel talking about makeup, applying makeup, reviewing makeup, swatching makeup. So stick around, hang out, talk about makeup with me, because I could talk about makeup all day long.